Welcome to the Naked Politics Podcast, and this is the Political Meat segment. China's rise is America's downfall. Sinasabi natin that the 21st century will be the Pacific century. But some people are now rethinking that, saying that the 21st century is not going to be the Pacific century, but China's century. So will the rise of China create a new threat to the dominance of a unipolar world against the United States? Emil, why is there such a myth that there should be a zero-sum game between superpowers, that one has to go down from the pinnacle of international power kung may isang papausbong na kapangyarihan? Right now, it's US dominance. But will China's rise become a threat to that?
Nakikita ko siya, sir, at least from the perspective of those in the academe, ang pinaka-mainstream na theory dyan is realism in terms of international relations. Therefore, if you are a realist, in terms of power struggles na mga bansa, there is an anarchic system, tapos yung mga bansa nagko-compete sila sa kapangyarihan. Since nagko-compete sila sa kapangyarihan, kapag may isang bansa na papausbong, it will be a threat against doon sa hegemon, di ba? Doon sa isang bansa na namamayagpag. That is the theory of realism in international relations, and that is the basic, traditional, and the most mainstream orthodox view or theories in the academe. That's why, since basic siya, mainstream siya sa academe, na-adapt siya sa ordinary thinking ng mga tao. Pero, there are other theories, di ba? For instance, if you are a liberal, you will not see China as a threat against the United States, but you will see the dynamics as an interdependent relationship wherein both can actually progress at the same time. Di ba? They can mutually coexist. Trade can actually help them. There's no need to struggle or to fight for dominance, but because of our multipolar, interdependent, globalized economic system, international relations, then there is a chance for everyone to coexist and to co-prosper. That is the liberal theory of international relations. It depends on the theoretical lens that you will use.
But if you will use the realist theory, do you think it's really possible that China's rise will result in the downfall of the United States?
Yes, and I think most of the establishments in the United States are realist, diba? Especially the military, the United States military, the Pentagon, they are very realist. At based dun sa actions nila ngayon, especially yung foreign policy nila towards Asia, it appears that tinitignan talaga nila China as not really as future threat, but as a current threat that they have to contain. That's why they are flexing their muscles in Asia. They are advocating freedom of navigations. So these are the actions of the United States that will tell us that they are really seeing China not as a partner, but as a threat in their hegemony. And to be fair, they do not pretend on it. The military establishment in the United States are very clear on that kind of perspective.
So Jeff, puntahan kita dito. We saw, di ba? If you look of history, yung mga bumagsak na mga imperyo, the immediate cause of that was because of the rise of other empires. For example, Persian Empire, it dissipated because of the rise of the Greek Empire under Alexander the Great. The Spanish Empire, who at one time covered almost half of the world, unti-unting nalusaw nung tinalo sila ng Great Britain when the Spanish Armada was beaten by the British, di ba? The fall of the British Empire, although it was late in the day, although it happened eventually during the two great wars, World War I, World War II, it gave rise to America, to the United States, as a great power. Economically, the United States was already the most prosperous country in 1870. Hanggang ngayon, di ba? Technically, until today. So, is China a threat to the US dominance in the economy, to the military dominance of the United States, to the cultural dominance of the United States? And then is China a threat to the technological dominance of the United States? Medyo madami to, pero can you pick one in which areas do you think that China is definitely a threat to the US dominance? Jeff?
Ngayon, yung pinaka-obvious na threat to US ng China ay yung technological front. Mas marami na actually ang napafile na patents ng mga Chinese compared sa United States. China's strategy before is to copy and improve technology. And they have proven that they can copy a certain technology and make it 10 times better. Actually, there's a lot of cases involving Chinese companies infringing on intellectual properties.
All the rest of the world will use it. Will that be an advantage to China's rise?
Of course. No,
Sabi ko, teka. Jeb, sorry, bago mo sagutin to, yun yung pinili mo, hindi economic, hindi military, hindi cultural dominance. Why do you think technology will be the next battlefront of global hegemony?
Precisely because all of those fronts that you said are interconnected with technology. Culture, geopolitics, military powers, all those fronts ay interrelated sa technology. If ever China will dominate those areas, they will have a good hand doon sa other front na yon. The US recognized that threat. Kaya ngayon pa lang, they are trying to stop China in achieving that goal.
Rigel, narinig mo yung sinabi ni Jeff, di ba? Militarily, malayo pa, sinasabi nila, before China could catch up with the US. But if technology becomes the main weapon, baka bumilis. Economically, sabi nila, within this decade, China will catch up. Culturally, I don't know, but everybody's going to China. Instead of China importing their movies and all, but everybody's trying to penetrate the market of China because it's 1.5 billion. And they're investing a lot. Economically, yung kanilang Road Belt Initiative, hindi ba? They're investing not just in Asia, they're investing in Africa, they're investing in Latin America, and then somehow, umurong yung Amerika dito sa mga bagay na ito. Ang tanong ko, if people recognize that China is a threat, and that it becomes inevitable, hindi ba itong pandemic, itong nangyaring pandemic, did that make China lose all the good things that they did? Or somehow, how they handled the pandemic would somehow affect kung may ambition man sila na maging global power? What do you think?
I think the influence of COVID, especially the attention is now focused into them because of the fact that they are the primary cause of this pandemic. Not to entirely blame them, but to say that it is a known fact already that the virus originates from them. I think there's one aspect of power that is exempted in the discussion, and that is the big influence that the United States has to the world. I think that the United States has that kind of power to influence not just its own continent, but almost the majority of the world on its views. A part of the discussion that is being left out, I think, and that is one big factor. China is not a threat in that aspect because of the fact that the US has managed to skillfully manipulate and use this situation as propaganda in order to turn the attention of the people to them again.
So, I agree with Rigel somehow, di ba? That America's use of soft power, they're still globally dominant. But I don't think it's unlike in the 80s or in the 90s. For example, in Asia, K-drama and K-pop, these are not Chinese, ha? These are not Chinese. Malino yun. Masin ngayon, yun na yung cultural hegemony na sa Asia, and I think it's growing everywhere. True, I agree with Rigel, but the dominance isn't there anymore. Hindi, if they had the 100% market at the peak of their power, it's not like that anymore. What do you think of it?
The power of the United States actually has something to do or is concentrated on the Hollywood. Diba? That is the source of its soft power. That's the source of its cultural influence. And we cannot question the fact that still Hollywood is still number one. Although we have Bollywood, although we have K-pop, although we have popular cultures in Latin America or in Europe, still the influence of Hollywood is still institutionalized or is still instilled. At least to the previous colonies of the West, we can say that United States is still the dominant power, still the hegemon in the cultural milieu. Pero tama yung sinasabi ni Kuya Jeff, although culturally speaking, United States still has the dominance, but China is using technology to subvert United States. For me, I think that is something that we really need to look at and to analyze, because it has some profound effects, and not only in terms of economics, politics, but in terms of geopolitics and foreign policy of all the countries.
Economically, America was challenged by Germany in the 70s, di ba? Hindi nangyari. Japan in the 80s and 90s, it never happened, di ba? It stagnated. And then now China. And then militarily, the Soviet Union bumagsak din. For quite some time now, we have a unipolar world until China, with its advances in technology, in military, culturally, and economically, is China's rise will lead to the US downfall, or not necessarily na parang to the level of Spain? It will still be a global power, but the dominant global power will now become China.
There's a possibility, no? The world is big enough for two superpowers, yun yung tingin ko. Pero in order for China to be that global power, they have to convince the world that their intentions are good. If they want to be a respected global power, they have to abide by the international rules. They should start playing it right. So until they stop encroaching on other countries' territories, they stop treating the Uyghur Muslims bad, until they stop all the other military adventurism on their borders between India, the treatment of the people from Tibet, and until they fix all their flaws, until that is done, then I don't think that they will be a global power like what the United States is.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jeff. No? Maybe that was true, the fear of everybody that China will become the global superpower. If only China heeded the advice of Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping was the architect of the rise of China. Pero when Xi Jinping became the premier, they were too aggressive. They are fighting too many fronts. They're fighting the fronts in the border in India and Pakistan, and then itong technological battles, and then in the South China Sea. I don't know if the aggressiveness of Xi Jinping would have, kung matutuwa ba si Deng Xiaoping sa mga nakikita niya ngayon nangyayari. Maybe if one reason why China wouldn't become the global power, I think the reason would be Xi Jinping and his arrogance in exercising his power. That's the Political Meet. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Naked Politics Podcast. Also, don't forget to like this video and then to ring the bell. And look for us in our social media accounts, in YouTube, in Facebook, in Twitter, and in Reddit. Thank you very much. And this is The Naked Political Podcast.